Annyeonghaseyo and happy holidays. This is Ruth from Makeup List Monday and welcome back to your Makeup List Monday moment. Now, I don't know about you, but I really love the holiday season. There is nothing that appeals more to my romantic, optimistic side than seeing all the Christmas lights, driving around at night, seeing all the decorations, the scent of pine and fir as well. It just brings up a lot of really good happy memories for me. At the same time though, Christmas Day itself is one of the loneliest, high anxiety driven, PTSD triggering days of the year for me. I also do seem to struggle with my mental health more during the entire holiday season than at any other time of the year. So I received a request asking for a video on staying grounded and dealing with feeling overwhelmed during the holiday season. So I decided to address that as well as speak a little bit from the perspective of single motherhood and what can make this holiday uniquely difficult for those of us that perhaps don't have family or extended in-laws or someplace to go during the holiday season. So my first single mother Christmas holiday was in 2015, and that year was probably the hardest year that I've experienced thus far during the holiday season. So my ex-husband and I had separated in May, so several months had passed between the separation and Christmas, but I wasn't prepared by how difficult that day was actually going to turn out to be for me. I try really hard to make Christmas meaningful and special for my children, but inside I was just dying from heartbreak and loneliness, not having any in-laws anymore, not having extended family to celebrate with, not having a spouse that's with me, creating these memories of the children and I, and having someone to share those memories with as an adult. Social media doesn't really help either during the holiday season. From Thanksgiving on, my news feed can be just inundated with pictures of family get-togethers. I watch my friends and their families getting together, and I don't really have that place to go. So it just helps sometimes drive home that I'm single and all alone. And that can also stir up some feelings of discontent and anxiety. Thanksgiving holidays itself, or Thanksgiving Day, is easier because that traditionally is a family and friends holiday. Other holidays throughout the year, though, such as Mother's Day or Christmas Day, traditionally seem to be much more family oriented and kept to just the family. So those that don't have a place or don't have family to turn to celebrate with can really struggle. I think this is also why suicide rates accelerate during the holiday season, because nothing hurts more than being alone during what is traditionally a family get-together day. And then as a single mom, the pressures are really high to keep up with the Joneses during the holiday season. Make the holidays special is honestly really hard work when you have very little children and you are expected to do this all by yourself. So as I mentioned before, I spent that first Christmas day in tears. Anxiety attacks set in, and I was left processing the overall complete loss of family, the loss of my marriage, and all the loneliness and stress that accompanies single motherhood. So that Christmas Day evening, I took myself out of the house and I attended a comedy showing at the movie theater. I returned home feeling a little bit better. I called some of my friends, talked the day out with them, and collapsed into bed just so grateful that Christmas was finally over for the year. And I began dreading Christmas coming up the following year. This is going to be my fourth Christmas as a single mom. I'll be honest, I didn't think that I'd still be single this far from my marriage falling apart. But I can tell you that Christmas has gotten easier every single year. I like to imagine that I have a toolbox that I turn to when life gets rough. I open it up, and there are days that I might actually have to use all the tools. Sometimes I just need one tool. And there are times that I find that I actually need to go out and develop some additional tools to put into my toolbox. So during the holiday season, my first tool for myself is to be really mindful towards my needs. I am not ashamed to acknowledge when I am struggling, but I don't just stop there. I work to get to the root of why I am struggling. So I don't struggle through the holiday season because I miss my ex-husband as much as I now know that I struggle because during growing up years, Christmas was one of the best times of the year, and it was one of the only times of the year where I felt like I was really included as a part of the family. I felt like I had value. Now, having lost so much of my family from childhood, laying aside the dreams of my marriage, and, well, I don't know, but for me, that on Christmas Day can really stir up and remind me of the abandonment, anger, anxiety, and fears from my past. So when that begins to happen, I like to take a step back, I name my feelings, and I actually allow myself to feel these feelings before I begin working through them. I don't like to use the words avoid or reject when it comes to feelings. I work through my emotional upheavals. So, name your feelings, get down to what's causing those feelings so that I can begin to work through them. A second tool that I bring out is to make the holiday season a time of really intensive self-care and self-nurturing. When I am entering a busy time of life that I know is going to be stressful and difficult for me to manage emotionally, I use that as a signal to start to slow everything else down inside. One of my NIA teachers loves to say, just because it is chaotic out here doesn't mean it has to be chaotic in here. And that's a principle that I'm trying to instill into my own personal life. I really believe that when I ignore my own needs in an attempt to meet everyone else's needs, that I am actually doing myself and everyone else a really big disfavor. So I slow it down and make sure that I am meeting my own needs first. That includes mandatory meals, sleep is mandatory, personal hygiene is mandatory, and I also use daily movement along with a mindfulness practice every single day. Knowing how to nurture and self-care leads into my third tool called create an action plan. For example, I know the holiday season is triggering for me. This is where having my tools in place now, naming my tools, utilizing and practicing with them before the big day helps, so that when that big day comes around, I'm not digging through the toolbox saying, well, I don't know how to use these tools. I'm automatically pulling the tools out and applying them to my daily life. On the other side, those that aren't single parents or have family that you can turn to and go to, I'm going to encourage you to remember your single parent or your lonely friends during the holiday season. Sure, texting and calling, Merry Christmas, I hope you had a really great day, is fantastic. What is even better is saying something such as, hey, Merry Christmas, I know this day can be hard for you, and I just wanted to let you know that I'm thinking about you. Because acknowledging that it can be hard for others, while at the same time accepting that it is a happy day for you, can really help a single parent or a lonely person struggling through the day. In my next video, I will go deeper into my action plan and give you some more practical tools that I have developed for myself over the years to help make the holidays easier. And you know, they have gotten easier. The first year was the absolute worst, and like I said, it was so bad that I began dreading the next Christmas season right after we just finished this last one. They've gotten better as my kids have gotten older and are more interactive and can share more of the memory making experience with me. So it's not such a drip drip day anymore. I do enjoy myself, but I'll admit I know that at the end of the day I am still emotionally drained and feeling just stressed out. So come back next week. Take a peek inside my toolbox for healthy emotional living tips and tricks of my trade. But for right now, I want you to go down below and subscribe to this channel. Follow me on Instagram at MakeuplessMondayMom, and you can also Twitter me at MakeuplessMom. Check out my website, www.makeuplessmonday.com. In the meantime, I'm going to encourage you to go forth, be bold, be makeupless, and I will see you back next time. Annyeonghaseyo!